Are you feeling lost in your 20s? Yeah, me too. Guys, welcome back to another video. I'm home to Cornwall. I'm actually going back tomorrow to London. I'm coming to you guys from my 17-year-old bedroom me. I'm going to give you guys some advice about your 20s because I feel like this is advice that I would want to hear. This is advice that I've been told from friends, family, therapists, and I just feel lost in my 20s, and I know a lot of people out there feel the same way. So please give this video a like, give me a subscribe if you found any information helpful. I'm not saying I have all the answers because I am most definitely not have any answers. No, shut up, Christina. Let's get into it. Okay, number one is focus on you. And the quote I have is, you are the only person you will spend the rest of your life with, which I'm sure many of you have heard before. Let me say again. You are the only person you will spend the rest of your life with. Meaning, if you don't like yourself, it's a thing of like, how are other people meant to like you? You have to fall in love with yourself to be able to fall in love with others. And you have to leave those people behind that don't make you happy, unfortunately. And that's really hard, whether it's family or friends or whoever it is. But your happiness is what is going to come first in the world. You know, you are one of a kind. Oh, I sound so cringe. No, okay. You are the one person who knows yourself the best, even if you feel lost. I feel like I always need to get advice from other people, and I always need people to kind of tell me what to do. And, you know, I don't need that. And I prove to myself all the time that I don't need that, but it's just a security. So true what they say, but you are who you hang out with. And that is something I also really stand by. So make good choices, guys. The second point is mental health. As I've said, mental health is one of the biggest things now than ever, to how to look after yourself, how to look after your mind, because your mind is your body. And I stand by that. Your mind is your body. How your mind is feeling is going to reflect how everything else around you is, how yourself is. When I'm feeling run down, when I'm feeling low, I get ill instantly because my mind is not well. So it's kind of like, it's like a sore muscle. It's like being tense all the time, as in your body is like physically tense, but it's in your mind and you can't see it. And then you finally relax, you know. And it's tricky how to relax your mind. I struggle with this a lot, but for me, therapy helps. I find talking to someone, talking out my problems is a real big lifesaver for me. I know therapy doesn't work for everyone, even just talking to a family friend or loved one, but everybody has problems. Every single person has a problem, no matter how perfect somebody looks. Unfortunately, their life's not. And the quote for this is, undo how you feel about yourself. I'm going to say it again. Undo how you feel about yourself. My therapist told me this, and honestly, it's stuck with me ever since. Undo how you feel about yourself. Your brain, you need to rewire your brain. I saw this recently on TikTok. I was actually scrolling yesterday. This girl was saying how she like names her brain. I can't remember. She like gave a name to her brain. It was like Becky, whoever this girl was. She named her brain Becky, and she was like, if I wake up in a bad mood, I'm just kind of like, Becky, not today. For me, the way that I look at it is that it's so easy to be miserable and to be negative. And I'm not going to lie, I can be a very negative person, but that pushes me more to want to do what is not easy, if that makes sense. So I want to try and be more positive, and I want to try and be more happier, because that is what is harder to do in this life. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just kind of what I try and wire my brain to be like. And it is very hard. Like, the people who know me well know I struggle a lot mentally. It's difficult, and it's really hard. You know, if we're going through so many changes in our life right now, how are we meant to know what to do? Like, no one can help you. The only person that can help you is you, which is really difficult, because I want to give all of this problems to someone else, and I want someone else to be like, oh, there you go, have it. But unfortunately, that's not the way that it is. So at the end of the day, if you want to help yourself, you are the person who has to do it. Okay, the third advice I have is get away. And the quote I have for this is, no one is coming to save you. I've seen this all over TikTok, where people put videos of themselves doing business stuff, and it's like, no one is coming to save you. Call me a TikTok girly. Yes, I'm obsessed. It's a thing of like, you need to get away from the life that you're living in, even if it's like, if it's a day, take yourself on a day trip, take yourself somewhere else, book yourself a room somewhere, go home. That's the biggest thing for me is to go home. It relaxes me, it refreshes me, and it makes me realize I need to go back to London and go and do. Do you know what I mean? Take yourself away from the environment you live in and go somewhere else. Anywhere. Go to the coffee shop, spend your whole day there, buy one coffee. I would honestly say, like, if you're in the space where your family are and you're available to get to your family, go. If not, book yourself the cheapest room that you could find and go just get out for a bit, because that really clears my head. Don't just focus on what you haven't done, and you're like, obviously focus on your steps and what you want to achieve next, but also take a step back and focus on, oh, this is what I've achieved since I've graduated here. Oh, this is what I've done. And my fourth thing is advice. The quote I have for this is, other people don't like to see you changing, and it sucks to be them. I'm going to repeat it. Other people don't like to see you changing, and it sucks to be them. My therapist once told me this, and I was like, wow, that I've never thought about. You know, jealousy is a huge thing, and who you take advice from is very important in your life. Who you take advice from and who you choose to let in your circle. Because obviously taking advice is great, and trust me, we need advice. At this age, we need to know what the hell we're doing, because I have no idea. But having advice from the wrong person, and it's difficult because it's like, how are you meant to know it's the wrong person? But it's like, well, you know, you'll take those steps and you'll learn in the future and figure out, was that right for me or was that wrong for me? At the end of the day, the decision is my own. At the end of the day, whatever I choose is whatever it's going to be, unfortunately, whether I've made the right decision or the wrong decision. And, you know, we have to look on the positive side and think, I'm lucky enough to even be able to make my own decisions. There's loads of people in other countries who are women and unfortunately don't have that. So it can be very overwhelming, and we have so many opportunities and decisions to make, but how great is that we can make those opportunities and we can make those decisions, and we have so many doors open for us with where we can go and what we can do. And my fifth one is people pleasing. This is a big thing for me. I have been a huge people pleaser for a long time. Don't like it, wish I wasn't, but the second somebody doesn't like me, I just hate it. And it's so weird. I just hate people not liking me. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of weird scare. I wish I was the girl that was like, oh yeah, I don't really care. No, I act like that girl, but I'm not. Behind the door, I'm like, oh, have I done something wrong? And that kind of plays in my mind where it's like, am I the person that's messed up, you know? We make it a lot of a bigger thing in our head than what it actually is. And the quote I have for this is, don't agree to the things you don't actually agree to. And I'm going to say it again. Don't agree to the things you don't agree to. This my therapist told me again, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I've needed to hear for a very, very long time. It's difficult to know the boundaries between, oh, they're my friend and I really want to be there for them and help them, but I'm not ready, or I have something else, or I have this that I need to do. Do you know what I mean? It's really difficult to know it, but once you put those boundaries in, it's perfect. Like, one of my friends is very good at setting boundaries, and she's very clear and set on what she wants and how she wants it. And I think that's really inspiring. Thinking is a big thing. I have learned to control my mind and not overthink before I go to bed. I used to be really bad at that, and it used to keep me awake a lot. But now I'll read a book. I find I'm currently reading 50 Shades of Grey. So I've got these anxiety remedies. I feel like you guys have definitely seen these, like the rescue remedies. So I've got one for the daytime, and then I've got one for the nighttime. I don't know if it works or if it's just like, you know, the mind thinks it works, but either way, it makes me feel better that I've got something to fall asleep with. As I say, comparison is a huge thing in the industry of acting. You're constantly comparing yourself to everyone, and it's so exhausting. Like, oh, why have they got that? I don't have that. Like, it's so exhausting, but your mind instantly just turns to that. I saw this girl on TikTok, and she was talking about like overthinking, and it was really interesting. I'm going to at her down here, but her name is @Lily_Shervy. I hope I said that right. She was talking about if like you like cover your left eye like this, and you just like keep your right eye open, the left side of your brain is basically your logical side, and the right side is like your emotional support, stability side. So apparently if you cover your left eye, it kind of stimulates the logical part of the brain to work and like reduces the emotional side, which is really interesting. I actually tried it the other night when I was trying to sleep and I was quite awake. And I actually think it kind of works. You just start thinking and you're overthinking, just do this and just like sit like this. I mean, the great thing is that you could also easily do that at work. My 7th point is relationships. Now, this is a big one at our age. People are getting married, people are buying houses, people are having kids. I'm single, so I'm not doing any of that. A quote I have is, people who don't respect your boundaries don't have boundaries of their own. Once again, the whole boundary talk is very difficult. How do I start that? I don't want to hurt your feelings. This is my biggest thing, is I hate hurting other people's feelings or having to be mean. And unfortunately, you have to stand your ground and you have to say, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do. And unfortunately, that is what I have to do to protect myself. People are always going to come back into your lives, whether they're an ex, they're an ex, like they're always going to kind of somehow find a way back in your life. One thing you need to remember is if he wanted to, he would. And I stand by that. So girls, remember, don't take anything less. Okay, number 8 is money. So I have a quote where money will always come back, but memories won't. And I'm very much in the headspace where I'm like, I really want my career to work. I really want to be an actor. I love doing YouTube. I would love for that to work for me. I love doing TikTok. I just do it because I enjoy it. I'm really, really focused on what I want to do. And to do that, I'm having to work less. But obviously, I'm working less to pursue other things I want to do. I don't have the money. Money does come back. It is so true. It does come back. But of course, there's been times where I'm so stressed out, like what I'm meant to do. I don't have money and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's really difficult. I'm in very two minds about money and what you're really meant to do. Obviously, you have some people at our age that bought a house. I mean, it's amazing. Congrats to them. I couldn't imagine that. But I just couldn't ever right now. You look at my bank account, it's like shock horror. I'm going to be so honest with you guys. Living in London is expensive. The main thing to remember with money is to not let it consume your life. And I know that's really easy to say. But when you're in that financial struggling situation, it does consume your life. And it stresses you out. I've had a lot of sleepless nights over financial. I always see these things on TikTok where it's like, come on, open up how much you've got in your savings. And like people have got like overdrafts and people have got like, under $1,000 and like stuff like this. And it kind of comforts me a bit where I'm like, oh, okay, like we're all out here kind of struggling a bit. And that might sound bad, but it kind of is like a thing to the mind where it's like, okay, everyone's kind of in the same place unless you're this like huge influencer or you're famous or anything. Like you're just having to work that normal 9-to-5 job to just get yourself money. And this leads me on to my 9th point, which is work. So I saw this quote that said, it's not where you work, it's who you work with that makes you want to go to work every day. And I stand by this 100%. Who you're working with impacts your mental health so much. I've been in situations before where I've unfortunately had men who are managers speak to me like a piece of shit. It happened to me recently, and then that's when I put a stop to it, and I instantly was like, okay, I'm going to leave, I'm out. And I know it's not that easy for everyone to do. Of course not, because it's money, once again. But it's so difficult, but you have to prioritize yourself and where you're working and who you're working with. Because you're literally seeing these people every single day. Like, you are spending pretty much all your time with them. You want to be surrounded by people who you actually like. I've been in this feeling so much where I've gone to work and I feel so anxious to talk. I feel like everyone hates me. And that is not the environment I want to be. At the end of the day, you need to prioritize who you're around, unfortunately. I saw this thing, I think it was on Instagram, not TikTok, shock. And it was like, work your normal 9-to-5 and then come back and do your career 6-to-12. And I was like, yeah, that's facts. I mean, for me, I can't do that because I start work quite late and then I work until the evening's late. So for me, that time is prioritized in the morning. So for me, that time is like, 9 to 1. Do the normal work, but then come home and grind even harder. And what I hate about this system is that this system is like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, or if you work in a restaurant like me, 11 to 3, and then it's like 5 to 11. And it's like, why has the system got us doing this? I hate the system. I want to be out of the system because we work 5 to 6 days a week, and then what we're looking forward to are 1-2 days off, where you're so exhausted by the end of the week, you don't even want to do anything anyway. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with the way that the policy is, but unfortunately, I don't see it changing anytime soon. Once you have a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, my 10th point is your career. This is a big one. I'm very lucky to be surrounded by very motivated people who drive me and push me forwards as to where I want to be and what I actually want to be doing in my life. My friend told me this quote, and it was, keep the door open and never shut it. So let all the opportunities come in, never fully close a door on anything or anyone. And I found that really interesting. For the acting career, that is a huge thing. You know, there's been times when I just don't want to talk to people or not, but unfortunately that is not this career. You do have to keep the door open. And I think it's the same in life. I think it's not just acting, I think it's life. You don't know who you're going to meet, you don't know who you're going to talk to, you don't know who these people are going to get you where. Keeping the door open is a very positive thing. You have to think about it as like, the more days you go, like there's so many days where I'm in work and I'm like, I hate this. Like, I literally do not. I really hate this. Like, the customers, oh, they just like aggravate me. And then I'm like, it pushes me more to like want to do what I want to do. Having a shit day at work is kind of great because it's like, okay, cool, this is not what I want to do. And this is not what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. Okay, two more left. Be uncomfortable. This scares the shit out of me. This is a quote I stand by. I don't know if I live by it as much. I want to live by it more, but I do stand by it. Life starts when you step out of your comfort zone. This is so true. This is so true. Life starts when you step out of your comfort zone. This is a huge, scary step for me. I have been feeling like I've never been securely in a job since I left my retail job in... Well, I pretty much didn't go to work since January, so pretty much since January. I have other jobs that I've been working at. I do a restaurant and like I do babysitting, but I feel like I haven't been secure in a job, if that makes sense. I always feel like I'm not going to stay in a certain job for a very long time. And that scared me a lot, like to leave my retail job, because I had so many friends at the time within this retail job, and I just felt so secure and so safe in it that to leave just scared the life out of me. And then I finally left, and thank God, because it was giving me so much anxiety. Like, I was having so many sleepless nights because of this job. For me, I'm a very scheduled person. I will schedule my life down to the T. I have to know kind of what I'm going to do that day. I like to make myself a to-do plan. And my friend who I live with is very opposite. So sometimes we can clash on what we're going to do or when we're going to do it. I just like to schedule myself like that. If I'm not scheduled, I don't feel right. And yeah, and I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I could just go with the flow a bit more, but unfortunately, that's not me. You agree with stepping out of your comfort zone helps you a lot, especially in this age. You know, go traveling, go do anything you want. Like, solo traveling scares the life out of me. I mean, hats off to whoever the hell has done that, because I just don't know if I could ever do that. But these people have stepped out of their comfort zone. They've done it. Go and get a new job. You've been in your job for what? 5-6 years. Step out, and it's so scary. And I'm the first one to say I am so scared. I have had so many life changes since uni, and looking back, like the way I've dealt with them, the way that I am, the way that I know that I am, I'm very shocked that I've dealt with them. I've kind of dealt with them really well. Like, I had a huge moving out crisis when I left uni, and I know I dealt with that very well, and I'm very proud of myself. And, you know, it just pushes you to be a stronger person. Like, the environment now I'm in at work, so much better. I love it so much more. I've made friends. I've come across some really lovely people. So worth it once you've done it. And my 12th and final point is you're meant to feel lost. I saw this recently on TikTok of this older lady talking about this TikTok that you're meant to feel lost, and I found that really interesting. She was basically saying things like our generation is kind of under this new technology, and we're kind of the first generation to do this whole influencer thing, and like different like things going on in in life that everything's so changed around, of course we're going to feel lost and other. People don't want to be in the system anymore. People want to step out of this 9 to 5. I want to go to work and I want to enjoy it. You know, I want to be an actor. I want to go on theatre. I want to do it on TV. I want to go to my job every day and say, wow, I'm not working because I love what I do. Of course, I'm going to feel lost. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm 22. I'm 22 for God's sake. I'm literally a 2-year-old adult in my 20s. But if you count me from 18 from being an adult, I'm a 4-year-old adult. You know, and I'm just making my way along as everybody else did, as everybody else is. Everyone around us is insecure. Everyone around us has no clue what the fuck they're doing. I have no fucking idea. It's a huge thing I've realised is life is not going to pause for you when you have a mental breakdown, when you feel sad, when you feel depressed. Life is not going to stop. I'm sorry, that is tough love, but I've realised it's not going to stop. It is worth talking about it to someone so somebody knows and you get it out there. I realised this on the tube the other day. I am literally 10 years ago, I was 12. I'm 22 and literally 10 years ago I was 12 and I was in year 7. I was doing my first day. I remember it so well. I'd always had my hair up. I had this purple rucksack, had a blazer, an oversized blazer because my mum didn't want to give me fitted clothing because I would grow out of it. Fair. I had a tie, I had, you know, a really long skirt so I wouldn't grow out of it. How am I meant to know what to do when I'm literally 10 years ago was at school, you know? I literally graduated uni last year, you know, and I thought I had it all figured out at uni. Realising life is, you're never going to have it figured out. I could make it and I could do what I want to do, but there's still going to be something that I'm not going to have figured out, which is actually quite demotivating. I've realised when I say that to myself. At the end of the day, you have to remember that you just have to keep going to just get there because the highs are so high. Like, for me, I get really low lows and then I get really high highs, and those high highs make the low lows worth it again. Many times where I'm just like, oh, I just love life. I love life the most when I'm abroad, and who doesn't love life the most when they're abroad? I can't lie. But when we used to do like little mini trips at uni, like weekends away, I used to just stand there and just like look at the sky, and I was like, I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful. Okay, there's not a lot in my bank account. Okay, I don't have 10 million friends, but I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat. I have fresh water to drink. I can bath myself. I can put makeup on. I can go and buy whatever I want to go buy. You know, I'm independent and so grateful, and I forget all the time. I'm constantly wanting more in my life. Like, I want to buy a new pair of jeans. I constantly want more. Do you know what I mean? I'm not happy with anything, and this is a huge problem I feel like within our generation, is that we constantly want more. And it's great in your career, you strive for more, but then I think we need to sometimes take a step back and be like, oh, I've done this, I've done that, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm really fucking proud of myself for what I've done. But yeah, guys, that was my 12 tips of advice for feeling lost in your 20s. It was quite ironic that it was 12 because I literally said to myself in the tube the other day, as I said, 10 years ago I was 12. So maybe it's 10-year-old self-advice, future advice. Don't know if that makes any sense, but I hope you guys know what I mean. If you guys want me to do any more advice videos, I might do one when I finish uni because that was like heartbreaking. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!